What's going on, guys? I got a video request from a Mr.Adams, and he asked if I could make a short husbandry video on my Pacman Frogs and my Suriname Horned Frog because he is trying to do some research himself and looking into getting some. And aside from Google and looking around for information, it is always a great idea to speak with people who keep the animals themselves and ask them for their opinions and suggestions on how to do things. And you can kind of cross-reference with your information that you found online, and that's how you find what is fact and what is not fact, because we all know some people keep things wrong, so you got to make sure you trust who you're asking. I like to call these guys my precious little fat kids, because we all know that they're chubby little froggies, and I'm a fat kid too, so we relate on that level. So I'm going to go over this stuff fairly quickly, as quick as I can anyways. I keep these guys on cocoa fiber for a substrate, and I use several inches because they like to burrow. One of the things that people have some concerns about with the cocoa fiber is the frog or any animal eating it and getting an impaction in their stomach and it killing them. I've never personally had a problem. When Olaf here was real small, I would just throw crickets in there and be fine. I'd still do the same thing here for shortcakes sometimes, but I've also gotten to where I tongue feed a lot of these guys. Most of the time they do get tongue fed, and it helps to keep them from getting dirt in their mouth. And also I know that nothing ran off, that they got everything. Some people keep them on paper towels. There's nothing wrong with that, but you know, these guys are sit and wait predators. They like to burrow, they like to get down and stay cool in there, and you know, it's their natural thing. So if you kind of want to keep them natural, this is my personal suggestion. Their temperatures in the wild are going to be anywhere from 75 to 85, but like I said, you know, they burrow down to get cooler. So in your house, room temperature is perfectly fine, 65 to 85, no problems whatsoever. I will say, I will say that during the spring and the summer and fall, I just leave it, you know, with the room temperature. Have no problem with that whatsoever. Last year during the winter, I found that Olaf here, he was the only one I had at the time, he went into a brumation cycle where he just would not eat anything. He was burrowed down, he was fine, but he just wouldn't eat anything. So I got a heat mat, which I used a foil tape to tape to the bottom of my enclosure, and I put it on there, and then, you know, after a couple weeks he started eating again, and so far this season I have not had any issue with these guys eating at all. They stay nice and warm. They say you want to keep the substrate in here moist but not saturated. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not always great about getting in here and spraying them down or giving them, you know, water every day or every other day. So I do saturate it. I'll get a pitcher, and I mean, you can tell by looking at this, I literally just pour it in here. A lot of times, you know, the substrate will dry and it absorbs all of it back in. It's not going to hurt them. I mean, amphibians drink through their skin. It's not a big problem. I just pour it in here, and then once I see the top start to dry out some, I will pour some more in there. I have no problems whatsoever with it. The heat mat will usually dry everything up pretty quickly. So I'd say in probably about a week I'll have to redo this. You want to give these guys a hide, something to hide in. They don't always hide, but you can see Olaf down there. He's chosen to use his hide. Shortcake sometimes is underneath his. And Jabba here, the mean butt, you can see he's partially under his, and you know, sometimes he goes back. Look at him. I don't know if you can tell, but he looks like he's peering up at me like, I want to bite you. This dude is super jumpy, and he will bite, and it's crazy. I've never seen a frog like it. Try to give you a shot real quick of underneath. That's the heat mat that I put on there. This stuff is kind of hard. The sticky stuff on the bottom of the heat mat is a pain in the butt. Let me tell you. It doesn't want to stick that well. It'll slouch off. This foil tape seems to be about the best thing I've found. You can see it's even still peeling off a little bit, but it's not doing a bad job. It's holding it up there. You can see the heat mat is not spanning the whole length of the cage, but it keeps it all fairly warm. Obviously, it's doing its job. And it fully occupies the middle space and is getting a little bit on each side of the other. These guys do not need a lot of room whatsoever. This whole enclosure right here used to be Olaf's when I just owned him, and they don't do nothing. I mean, they're the Jabba the Hutt of the Frog Kingdom. They just sit around. That's it. They might come out and hunt every once in a while. Mine really don't. I think they know that I come and tongue feed them because they're a bunch of big babies. So I decided, I want to get some more Pacman frogs because there's some really pretty color morphs out there. And I really like the Suriname Horned Frog, which I'm happy that I added Jabba to my collection 2 months ago. And I split this in half, or not in half, I'm sorry, into threes with some black acrylic that I silicone in place. You can put plants in there if you want. It's not going to make much of a big difference. I mean, it'll help to dissolve feces and stuff like that, which is another thing that you'll want to go through and pick out as you see it. Can't really get a good shot of him glaring. Such pretty colors. Like I said, Jay, I mean, I explained everything to you shortly there in the in Dave Scott's comments, and I mean, you really cannot get much simpler than these guys. Beautiful species and easy to keep. Ugh. I don't want to get too close to him, he'll probably bite. Alright, I hope I covered everything. If you got any questions, Jay, go ahead and shoot a comment on here and ask. Like I said, they're simple, but I don't think there's anything I didn't cover. If there is, just give me a holler and I'll help you out. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope I helped you out and anybody else who needed some information. Check you later.